You broke the cycle, and in doing so, you showed that strength isn't inherited, it's chosen. You broke the cycle, and now the echoes of pain stop with you, making space for healing. You broke the cycle, and every step forward is a quiet rebellion against the past. You broke the cycle, and the chain that once bound generations is finally free in your hands. You broke the cycle, proving that courage can rewrite stories even older than you. You broke the cycle, and with each choice, you teach those who come after the meaning of resilience. You broke the cycle, and your courage whispers to the broken parts of your soul, I survived. You broke the cycle, transforming what once trapped you into a bridge for others to cross. You broke the cycle, and now your scars are proof that change is possible. You broke the cycle, and the air feels lighter, because the past no longer controls you. You broke the cycle, showing that growth is louder than suffering. You broke the cycle, and the patterns that haunted your family line dissolve in your wake. You broke the cycle, and every act of love now becomes revolutionary. You broke the cycle, and your life is a quiet manifesto of hope. You broke the cycle, and the silence left behind speaks louder than any curse ever could. You broke the cycle, and now your choices are seeds, growing a forest of freedom. You broke the cycle, and pain no longer dictates your story. It only teaches it. You broke the cycle, and the shadows of yesterday no longer walk beside you. You broke the cycle, proving that strength doesn't demand perfection. It demands persistence. You broke the cycle, and in that act, you honor everyone who couldn't before. You broke the cycle, and now every heartbeat is a declaration of liberation. You broke the cycle, and the weight of inherited pain lifts from your shoulders. You broke the cycle, showing that love can heal where fear once ruled. You broke the cycle, and your courage becomes the story others will one day tell. You broke the cycle, reminding the world that change is more than possible. It's contagious. You broke the cycle, and the chains that once bound your soul now crumble into dust. You broke the cycle, and the whispers of the past now cheer for your growth. You broke the cycle, and every wound you carry transforms into wisdom. You broke the cycle, showing that freedom is learned, not inherited. You broke the cycle, and the echoes of fear lose their power in your presence. You broke the cycle, proving that endings can be beginnings in disguise. You broke the cycle, and the legacy you leave is not of suffering, but of strength. You broke the cycle, and the weight of tradition bends in your favor. You broke the cycle, and your resilience becomes a light for those still trapped. You broke the cycle, and the silence of the past now sings in harmony with your voice. You broke the cycle, and the pattern that haunted you now serves as proof of triumph. You broke the cycle, showing that self-love is the ultimate rebellion. You broke the cycle, and every day forward is a quiet act of revolution. You broke the cycle, and the history that defined you now witnesses your victory. You broke the cycle, proving that the past does not determine the future. You broke the cycle, and the pain that once defined you now teaches others how to rise. You broke the cycle, and in that silence, 1,000 futures are born. You broke the cycle, transforming inherited sorrow into chosen joy. You broke the cycle, and your story no longer belongs to yesterday. It belongs to you. You broke the cycle, and every tear you shed now waters fields of freedom. You broke the cycle, proving that change begins with one brave choice. You broke the cycle, and the lessons of suffering now carve the path of wisdom. You broke the cycle, and your life is a testament to courage unseen by most. You broke the cycle, and the chains that tried to define you now lie shattered. You broke the cycle, and every fear you faced becomes a stepping stone for the future. You broke the cycle, showing that hope is more powerful than history. You broke the cycle, and your resilience now echoes louder than generations of pain. You broke the cycle, and the stories you leave behind are of triumph, not defeat. You broke the cycle, and your courage turns the invisible chains of the past to lessons. You broke the cycle, and the patterns that once haunted you now guide others toward freedom. You broke the cycle, proving that healing can be louder than suffering. You broke the cycle, and your victory is quiet but seismic. You broke the cycle, and the weight of yesterday now serves as wings for tomorrow. You broke the cycle, and the whispers of fear now bow to the roar of courage. You broke the cycle, and every step forward is a revolution in motion. You broke the cycle, and every choice you make now becomes a shield for future generations. You broke the cycle, and the fear that once ruled your life now bends before your courage. You broke the cycle, showing that persistence can rewrite even the oldest wounds. You broke the cycle, and the story of your life becomes a beacon of hope. You broke the cycle, and every step forward is a quiet declaration of freedom. You broke the cycle, transforming inherited pain into a blueprint for healing. You broke the cycle, and your life now teaches what words could never convey. You broke the cycle, and the past can no longer define the rhythm of your heart. You broke the cycle, proving that one brave soul can change a family's destiny. You broke the cycle, and every scar you carry becomes a map for others to follow. You broke the cycle, and the pain that once trapped you now fuels your growth. You broke the cycle, showing that strength is found in choosing differently than before. You broke the cycle, and your courage whispers to the broken heart still listening. You broke the cycle, and the shadows of yesterday bow to the light of today. You broke the cycle, turning inherited struggles into lessons of resilience. You broke the cycle, and every heartbeat now echoes with freedom. You broke the cycle, proving that history does not dictate who you become. You broke the cycle, and the chains of the past now lie shattered at your feet. You broke the cycle, and your story becomes a lighthouse in the storm of others. You broke the cycle, and every fear you faced now becomes a stepping stone to courage. You broke the cycle, showing that love and patience can dismantle even the heaviest patterns. You broke the cycle, and the past no longer holds power over your present. You broke the cycle, and every tear you shed becomes a seed for transformation. You broke the cycle, and your courage is a quiet revolution that inspires silently. You broke the cycle, proving that freedom begins with one fearless choice. You broke the cycle, and the echoes of pain now transform into whispers of hope. You broke the cycle, and your life becomes proof that healing is possible. You broke the cycle, showing that strength grows when fear is faced, not followed. You broke the cycle, and every step forward writes a new story of resilience. You broke the cycle, and the legacy of suffering is replaced with courage. You broke the cycle, and your presence now teaches others how to rise. You broke the cycle, and the chains that once bound your family now crumble. You broke the cycle, turning the weight of the past into wings for the future. You broke the cycle, and the patterns that haunted you now serve as lessons. You broke the cycle, showing that love can heal where fear once ruled. You broke the cycle, and every scar becomes proof of your unstoppable spirit. Broke the cycle, and the science of the past now hums with possibility. You broke the cycle, proving that courage is inherited not by blood, but by choice. You broke the cycle, and the story of your life becomes a blueprint for hope. You broke the cycle, showing that freedom can be forged from the heaviest chains. You broke the cycle, and every fear you conquered now lights the path for others. You broke the cycle, and the past no longer whispers. It celebrates your resilience. You broke the cycle, transforming inherited pain into a legacy of strength. You broke the cycle, and the lessons of suffering now guide others toward healing. You broke the cycle, and the echoes of the past now cheer for your courage. You broke the cycle, and your victory becomes a silent anthem for the next generation. You broke the cycle, showing that one brave soul can change countless lives. You broke the cycle, and the weight of yesterday now propels you forward. You broke the cycle, and every step is a quiet defiance of old patterns. You broke the cycle, and the courage within you now shines brighter than inherited fear. You broke the cycle, and the story of your resilience inspires even those who never knew your pain. You broke the cycle, showing that strength isn't given. You broke the cycle, and the past now bows in respect to your determination. You broke the cycle, and every heartbeat becomes a testament to survival and hope. You broke the cycle, proving that courage is louder than history ever imagined. You broke the cycle, and the chains that tried to define you now lie in dust. You broke the cycle, and your life is a living manifesto of resilience and love. You broke the cycle, and the lessons of your journey now serve countless others. You broke the cycle, and every choice forward is a quiet act of rebellion against suffering. You broke the cycle, showing that freedom can be born from the deepest pain. You broke the cycle, and every quiet choice you make now reshapes the future unseen. You broke the cycle, and the echoes of your courage ripple through generations. You broke the cycle, proving that the heaviest chains can be shattered by one determined soul. You broke the cycle, and the legacy of fear now bows to your resilience. You broke the cycle, and your story reminds others that change is possible at any moment. You broke the cycle, and every act of kindness now becomes revolutionary. You broke the cycle, and the silence that once suffocated you now hums with freedom. You broke the cycle, turning pain into lessons and lessons into wings for tomorrow. You broke the cycle, showing that courage doesn't roar. It acts quietly, persistently, and brilliantly. You broke the cycle, and the past no longer dictates your rhythm. It follows your lead. And every step forward carries the weight of hope for others. You broke the cycle, transforming inherited struggle into a roadmap for healing. You broke the cycle, and your life now speaks louder than the words ever could. You broke the cycle, and the burdens of yesterday now fuel the fire of today. You broke the cycle, showing that freedom grows where fear once thrived. You broke the cycle, and your choices now shine like beacons in the darkness. You broke the cycle, and every scar you carry becomes a guide. You broke the cycle, proving that one brave soul can rewrite a story centuries old. You broke the cycle, and the patterns that haunted you now bow to your courage. You broke the cycle, and every tear you shed becomes a seed for hope. You broke the cycle, and your life becomes a manifesto of quiet strength. You broke the cycle, and what once controlled you now applauds your freedom. You broke the cycle, showing that true power lies in choosing differently than expected. You broke the cycle, and every heartbeat you take now celebrates liberation. You broke the cycle, turning inherited pain into an inheritance of wisdom. You broke the cycle, and your courage whispers to those who feel trapped in silence. You broke the cycle, and the shadows of yesterday now bow before your light. You broke the cycle, proving that love can outlast even the heaviest burdens. You broke the cycle, and the story of your triumph becomes a quiet anthem for others. You broke the cycle, and every step forward is a revolution in motion. You broke the cycle, and the fears that followed you now dissolve in your confidence. You broke the cycle, showing that resilience is louder than inherited pain. You broke the cycle, and every choice you make now heals. You broke the cycle, and your life becomes a lighthouse for those navigating storms. You broke the cycle, and the chains of the past lie broken at your feet. You broke the cycle, proving that courage isn't given. It's earned in the quiet moments of decision. You broke the cycle, and every tear you shed now waters the soil of freedom. You broke the cycle, showing that strength is crafted in the moments others overlook. You broke the cycle, and your presence now teaches others how to rise. You broke the cycle, and the pain you've overcome now becomes a bridge for those behind you. You broke the cycle, and your story transforms fear into inspiration. You broke the cycle, proving that love and patience can dismantle the heaviest patterns. You broke the cycle, and your life becomes a testament to quiet bravery. You broke the cycle, and the patterns that once haunted you now guide others toward hope. You broke the cycle, and every act of courage ripples further than you can see. You broke the cycle, and the weight of yesterday now serves as wings for tomorrow. You broke the cycle, showing that freedom is not inherited, it's chosen every day. You broke the cycle, and your resilience turns every shadow into a light for someone else. You broke the cycle, proving that one heart can rewrite the story of many. You broke the cycle, and the lessons of pain now transform into wisdom for others. You broke the cycle, and every step forward creates a path no one thought possible. You broke the cycle, and the echoes of fear now fade in the sound of your courage. You broke the cycle, showing that hope is louder than any inherited sorrow. You broke the cycle, and your story becomes proof that healing can triumph over history. You broke the cycle, and the quiet choices you make now redefine the future. You broke the cycle, and every wound you carries into a lesson of strength. You broke the cycle, showing that courage doesn't need applause. It only needs action. You broke the cycle, and your life now hums with the freedom long overdue. You broke the cycle, and the chains of yesterday now bow with the power of today.